it was supposed to be January 1st, but the sales rep timeline was slightly different than the implementation people's timeline. Imagine that for software. But it'll be first quarter. We have a system worked out. If not, it's not a big deal. Where businesses for both payroll and gross receipts and our business license will have a portal on our website. They will be able to file their taxes, pay their taxes, do all that online. So we won't be mailing paper returns. You won't have to invest in your own tax software. Because one of the things we heard a lot these past couple of years is, hey, it's 2021, 2022. Why am I still printing off a piece of paper, filling it out, mailing it in, writing the check? That's nuts. So we've invested in that software that's covered under the 2% partnership fee. There's no extra charges to our cities for this. It's an investment the county's made because we want to be more efficient. It benefits all of us. So that software will be coming online. And this timing works well because we are going to be doing a lot of outreach on our own to all of our businesses about switching software, getting registered in the portal. And that's going to give us another opportunity to say, hey, do you do business in Wilder? Here's how you're filing your taxes now. So I think your timing is good for coming online with that. And eventually, probably spring, summer, everyone will be able to file and pay online. They'll have access to their own portal, so if you have an overpayment, you can get in yourself and apply that to a different tax year or request a refund. It'll be very taxpayer friendly, self-service, doing a lot of those things. That'll be included for a lot of our customers. And we also do quite a lot of compliance programs that a lot of our benefit from, including the economy scale. For example, we get a download from the Secretary of State every month for any new business that is incorporated into Campbell County. And we send them a welcome packet, is what we call the tax registration forms, different things. So now Wilder will be included in that. So once a month, we check the Secretary of State and see what new businesses came in. We work with the federal government to get copies of their 1099s because one quirk, we'll call it, of the federal government is they will refuse to withhold local payroll taxes if there's less than 500 employees. So things like the VA, which wouldn't affect Wilder, mail carriers, different things don't have those local taxes withheld. We have a program set up where we get that 1099 data. We file an open records request with the federal government, get their 1099 data, and make sure those groups are compliant. So you'll be able to benefit from all those things because the different programs we do them for all of our partners. It's not just for unincorporated, it's not just for the county-wide. If we collect your taxes, you're in on all the compliance things that we do. Everything's been going very well. We've had a couple meetings with your staff. They've been wonderful. I think we have a very good transition plan, communication plan. We appreciate you making those ordinance updates. That makes everything pretty seamless on the collection front. So all is going well, and that's the update, and happy to try to answer any questions.
I assume you have a procedure for delinquent taxes?
Yes, we do. So we make 3 or 4 attempts ourselves. And then if that's not getting anywhere, we have a contract attorney that we use through the county attorney's office that is on a contingency basis, so we don't have anything. If they're able to collect, we do that. And again, we offer that for any of the partners we collect for. So if someone is delinquent to us, Wilder, and Highland Heights, we will go after all 3 of those through that process. And there's no charge on any of that. You know, he is just paid a portion of the taxes he collected. You get 98% of this back. On the cash flow front, if you're thinking about those things like I do, we remit monthly. So we collect all the time. When we reconcile the end of each month, we'll provide reports to your staff about the business activity, new businesses in Wilder, different things. And then by the 10th of each month, you were ACH the money for the previous month. So we aren't sitting on your money for 6 months and only pay once a year, twice a year. We reconcile and pay monthly. Any other questions? And the boss is here.
And the boss is there sitting in the audience.
The only comment I have, Matt, is that meeting's probably gonna be the last full week of October, so the 23rd through the 27th, or the 30th through maybe the 1st or 2nd of November.
Okay.
But we'll let you know, I'll send you out an email
Yeah,
invite.
we'll talk to Brett, we'll make sure, we'll do outreach then, and then we'll do it again. It's always an interesting balance, you wanna tell people as soon as you know, but we learned from Boone County, if you tell people too far in advance, they forget about it by the time they actually file their returns. And since they won't be filing their wilder returns actually with the county until April, we'll do that meeting, but probably some of the outreach will occur more at the beginning of the calendar. We also don't wanna cause confusion and have people send those last Q4 2023 returns to the county. So our big public push will be after that, closer to the filing deadlines, and half the people will pay attention and file them correctly.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other questions for Matt? Well, thank you, Matt, for coming
Thank you.
to visit with us this evening. You're welcome to stay for the entire meeting, but
I
we certainly
appreciate the
understand.
offer, but
I
having been on the
know.
other side of these, we let people go too.
So Judge Andrew, did you have any comments for council
Well,
before
I
you
tell
left?
you, local government works best when the elected officials hire high-quality staff. You've always done that here, and I did it too.
You did. You did. All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Great, great deal. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you.
Take care, Judge. Nice to see you.
All right. So next up is Justin with the attorney's report.
As you'll notice, we do not have any ordinances, nor do we have any resolutions for consideration. Do have a little uncertainty about roles of mayor and council. I prepared a little memo which I'll distribute to you all. Probably give it to the new one, and she can send it out to you all. Kind of clarify some things there. That's all I have.
Okay, good deal. So with this, we'll go to the department officials. Terry.
I'm gonna try this microphone, but it seems like when I talk into it, it's too loud, so I'm gonna sit back and talk softer. This doesn't make sense. Anyway, I've got 4 items, should be pretty quick. One is, and I don't have all the details yet, we have been probably for 5 years trying to light up Andrews Way. We've had a lot of questions and comments from the business down there, which is Andrews Laser Works, about it being very dark down there. Now that the water line is in, the sewer line's in, all that work's done, the street's paved again. Duke has come back now with a plan. I've got a teleconference with them on Wednesday, in which case I'll know a little more. I can tell you right now, though, I'm trying to do all underground with the same lights that we have here on the premises. It might seem a bit much for an industrial area with one business, but I think if we start to stay with that concept, a cheaper alternative would be wooden poles and the normal street lights that you're used to seeing, but we don't have any above ground electric down there anyway. And I know the Duke was really eager to do that anyway, because part of the problem is the distance between their transmission lines and the poles that we would put up. So the ones we're putting up, I don't know, back here you probably don't notice there's 2 sizes. There's a taller one and there's a shorter one. So we would go with the shorter one, but I'll get you more details on that. There's obviously payment plan if you want to pay for it that way. There's a lump sum to pay for it. This isn't something we budgeted. They're updating the cost right now, but I will get back to you and let you know, and we can decide what to do with that. I just know that it's been a big request from Andrews over the years, just because it's so dark down there. And with the park possibly being down there in the future, and the parking lot, I don't know if you've been down there lately, but the parking lot that they paved, the water district and sewer district paved for us at the end of the road, we just have to stripe it now, so it takes on a little different appearance than it used to. So I'll get you more information on that.
Would that be something Andrews would help pay for, or they wouldn't just pay for it?
Yeah, we pay for it. I mean, it's our responsibility to light up our streets. Again, we've
Yeah,
got.
I'm sorry, it's not gonna be their parking lot,
Oh, no, no.
just the street.
No, yeah, it'll be our public street, and again, we've got other places in the city, it's just, this one was hard to do, not because we didn't wanna do it, because Duke was really worried about the distance, the clearance from those lines and the tops of the poles. It's hard to service those when you get too close to their transmission tower, they don't like to do that, so they figured out a way to get space around that. Street repair bids, the bid opening is October 16th. I know that the mayor met with some of you, or almost all of you, and Jim, I think you're on the street committee thing. anybody's welcome to come to the bid opening. It'll be in the conference room on the 16th at 10 o'clock for the concrete work and 10:15 for the asphalt work. But after that, if we approve the bids, it will come back to this body, we'll approve the bids like we do with any other contractor, and then the work will commence, whether it be this calendar year or after the winter weather, it depends. We can all just stay on top of that and make sure the work gets done. If those bids come in under the engineer's estimate, my hope is to add other streets to it using the same price quantity that the bid is written in such a way that says, hey, once you give us this as a quantity price and a price per quantity. So if we want to add another 1,500 feet of lineal feet of street, then that bid will just apply to that. Yeah. So it's the first time we've ever done that because we're not doing full streets. Also, we're getting close to revising the sewer project that went over the bridge that we didn't build. There was a sewer line from Frederick's Landing. We're revising that plan now to go a different way, and it'll provide sewer to the other side of Johns Hill and this side of Johns Hill. The plans are getting close to being revised. We're getting the regulatory permits from KDOW and sanitation and KYTC. We have to have all that before we can even put out the bid. We can't put out the bid until there's a cost for SD1's permit for inspection, but we're gonna get a credit on the one we didn't build. So, but I'll get back to you on that. I don't even have a bid date yet for that. That's part of the $400,000 grant that we received from Senator Schroeder when he left office, and he secured $400,000. It's actually not a grant, it's more of a general fund, state fund, and it has to be spent by 2024 or we're not gonna use it. The last thing I want to update you all on is Gov Deals. We're finished with the 3 car sales. Boy, that was like a full-time job there for about a week. We had lots of questions and lots of pictures everybody wanted and just things. But the good news is the 2014 Dodge Charger sold for $6,650. We had 20 bids and 873 visitors to see the car. Not coming here, but obviously online. The 2010 Ford Sport Track sold for $7,000. We had 32 bids and 699 visitors. It's a lot better than putting it out front with for sale sign on like we used to do. Now here's the big one. Anybody didn't think I didn't need a car? The 2007 Ford Explorer didn't meet the reserve at $3,000. The highest bid we got was $1,600. There were only 2 bids. There were 419 visitors. So the question is to council, we can either rebid on Gov Deals again. For the Explorer, that's the only one we got left. We're gonna have other cars now, but the police have other cars, but that'll be later. Or we can try to contact, Gov Deals can try to contact the $1,600 bidder and see if they're still interested. They're not bound to bid because the bid actually, the auction's over. Or we can put a for sale sign on it out front and hope to get a better bid. I'll take, you don't even have to give me your answer now, but I'd be interested to hear what you think about what we need to do to get rid of it.
Yeah, I'm okay.
I don't think
1,600.
1,600, got that on the other 2, might as well like keep it.
Okay, so I'll contact Gov Deals tomorrow, see if they'll reach out to the $1,600 bidder. They have access to all this. I only see the first initial and last initial of the login name. If that person's interested, we'll try to make a deal. If it's not, they're not interested, then we will either re-advertise again. Again, just so you know how Gov Deals works, it doesn't cost us to put it on Gov Deals. So each person that buys, so these vehicles, the prices I just gave you, there's a 12.5% charge on top of these prices that they have to pay Gov Deals. So once they're paid and Gov Deals says they've paid it, usually by wire transfer, they then say to us, it's paid, they send us a bill of sale, we sign it, give them the title. Gov Deals within a week sends us our money, electronic funds transfer. The full amount, not the minus 12.5%.
Gary, if we have to re-advertise it, are we gonna lower the reserve?
Probably. And we've had people ask us for the reserve, but it's not our policy to give them the reserve. It's not a good idea to tell them what we're looking for. So we had a couple people ask, or 2 people, and this one asked, one other person on the other car, we just tell it's not our policy. Until they get to the reserve, the auction doesn't really even start.
On the $1,600 one, did you say there were 2 bids?
1,500 and 1,600.
Can we not go with the 1,500?
We can go, if either one of them, a lot of of these people, you'd be surprised how far some of these people come for these cars. I mean, people from Oklahoma and New Mexico, they buy these cars and they transport them on a trailer. The sport track is being bought by somebody in Radcliffe, Kentucky, which is down near Louisville, Fort Knox area. So they're coming up tomorrow and trailering it back to Radcliffe. It's a car dealership.
There is one thing or one possibility, I still think if for some reason that either one of those people don't want it, I still think it's a good idea to give that to Owsley County.
It wasn't a police car. Okay, I mean, if some other county wants it.
They've taken everything.
Yeah, they'd have to probably trailer it down. I wouldn't take a chance on them driving it that far, but that's an option too. We can donate it. It's not like we write off our taxes or anything, but still, it's the goodwill gesture that we donated. If they're interested in it, we can push it around to some of the eastern Kentucky counties that were hit by flood. That's probably a good idea. We can do that too. I'll look around. I'll see about that. Again, the reason I said about 1,600 and 1,500, I'm sorry, I didn't finish my comment to you. They a lot of move on. They don't stick around hoping that they can get it. You know, they go on to the next. There's probably hundreds of thousands of vehicles on this website that changes daily. So they just from all over the country. It's just surprising how many people. The more publicity or the more looks that we get versus how we used to do it was put a for sale sign on it, advertise in the local paper, and we would get lowballed every time. So anyway. All right, I will do my best to get rid of it that whatever way is possible, man.
Thanks, sir.
That's it.
All right, any other questions for Terry?
I got one. Terry, if there is funds available for the roads, I believe we need to fix at least that big hole on St. John's Lane before, like a motorcycle will in nighttime come through there.
Okay.
I mean, they probably get killed on a motorcycle.
Well, the good news is that the asphalt bids are for Town Drive and Plum Street. So they're gonna be out that way. So money or no money, then we can just have them give us an estimate on it using that quote, that criteria. I really would like to fix that spot on St. John's Lane where it's sunk more. There's two spots. There's one where it's gaping open at the end, and there's one that's sunk. We fixed one of those sinkholes years ago. I poured a concrete buttress up against that. I'd like to do that, but short of that, I think we can probably buy another 5 years or 10 years out of it just by putting some asphalt on it. But yeah, I think we can, it's not gonna be that much more, and I think it's probably a good idea. That's one of the ones that we're gonna be added. Another one was Aspen Court in front of Aspen Pines Drive. That intersection before you get to Frosty, just the intersection right there has been dug up by so many other utilities and things that it's kind of rocky right there, so.
Yeah, this is more of a safety concern.
Yep.
For me, so.
I got it, okay.
Thank you. Any other questions? All right, we'll move on to Juanita for the treasurer's report.
As you guys know, the Great Pumpkin Hunt started today. The first pumpkin was found this morning by a young man on Wesley, Alex Bacon, who was darling. So he found it before he went to school this morning, so then he came and picked up his gift card. So he said thank you, and his father also said thank you for all the stuff you guys do here. They really appreciate it. And thank you to Councilwoman Meiser for taking the lead on this. Appreciate it. We are no longer reserving the shelters at City Center Park for the rest of the year. It's just first come, first served, and the restrooms will be closed October 31st. Pickleball courts, we have numbers on them now from 1 to 4. The numbers look really good here with those we have reserve boxes. So we on both old and the new courts. So that's working out really well. Property taxes went out last Friday. They're due by November 30th. If anyone has any questions, they can contact us at the city building. And wanted to let you guys know lastly that Maureen's last day was last week. It happened kind of quickly, but she was hired on August 29th of 20, so she was here for a little over 23 years. She is moving, but anyway, we'll keep in contact with her. So. She's not yet. So, but anyway, just wanted to let you guys know that right now she is still on. So anyway, she wanted to tell you guys. Yeah, and we will. Things happened at the end that we couldn't. So anyway, I'll keep you guys updated. And then Mayor, we just have all these financials to approve.
Great. everyone received a copy of the August financials. Do you have any questions for Juanita? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve those financials.
Make the motion.
We have a motion. We have a second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? All right, motion carried. Thank you, Juanita. Thank you. All right, so sitting in for Chief Martin this evening is Sergeant.
Just, one thing, we just wanted to thank the city for the new vehicles, we really needed them. And then he wanted me to pass along that there'll be repercussions coming from this strike. The dealers are already seeing hard to find vehicles for the next few years, so,
Do you already have them?
we do. We went and picked them up in Cleveland last week. We're just waiting on equipment, you know, how it
Yeah, sure.
50 to 60
Yep.
days, 30 to 60 days. Thank you very much. Go ahead.
All right, any questions for Mickey? All right, well, we'll turn it over to Chief Nyman.
Only a couple things, the guys completed, a fire extinguisher training today for TGW. And 12 employees that participated in that training, they do that every year for their insurance. And don't forget the turkey wrap, November 17th. Hopefully everybody got their tickets. If you didn't, call us, we'll bring you some. If you want more, call us, we'll bring you some more. That's all I have.
All right, any questions for Chief Nyman?
Yeah, there was a conflict between the 17th or the 18th. I've heard both dates now. Is it on Friday or Saturday?
Friday. It's always the Friday before Thanksgiving, November 17th.
Okay.
You know that's during deer season, right?
Just,
That's okay.
just give us one night. Here's break.
If I'm in town, I'll.
All right, thank you. Well, I'm up next, and as I had shared with council on my update, I don't really have a whole lot this evening, but just tagging off of Sergeant Collins' comments about the cruiser, I did get a very nice email from Chad, actually to myself and Terry, and I thought you would really appreciate knowing just how grateful he is, and they are. He said, "Thank you so much for this approval. I truly believe we are averting what is going to be a nationwide disaster in the next 2 fiscal years. I believe agencies will lose officers in this police environment if they are forced to share cars due to the inability to find vehicles for sale. By taking these steps, we are demonstrating to the community that we are forward thinkers and willing to take the appropriate actions to keep public safety at the highest level of readiness. Not only will this affect public perception, but it will have a huge impact on the officers that were becoming disgruntled with the frequent vehicle breakdowns." And I know, I think in the last meeting, there seemed to be a lot of support for it. I sent the email out with the justification that was provided by Chad and Terry. So anyway, I just want to also echo those words of gratitude, because it certainly made our chief and our police department happy. I did want to just update you on the personnel policy. I checked with the attorney again, who's leading that effort, and he said it will be within the next week, maybe 10 days it'll be done, and then I'll have that summary to share. Terry and I continue to meet with the businesses, and I think that that's been a very productive use of our time. And let's see, I think that was, what is most important about these cruisers, and I'd like your input on this. The funds were coming out of the capital budget to pay for this. Do you want the cruisers to be paid for with just straight capital, or do you want us to allocate or earmark some of the ARPA funds to the vehicle?
I for one, I think everyone knows how I feel about the ARPA funds. I say we use it out of the capital.
I don't have the capital funds in front of me, to look to see how much we had remaining.
It's about $2 million, but that's assuming we transfer $600,000 in June, by June 30th of this next year. We're not sure we're gonna have that, so we hope we will.
So, it's like 1.3.
What was budgeted for the cruisers this year?
One cruiser.
One cruiser?
That's 70,000. it
on
didn't
top of
quilt,
that.
it didn't,
Oh.
these other ones are stripped down.
How much will they be outfitted
So there's about another $12,000 to $15,000 that goes into them.
each?
Yeah, and right now we're having trouble getting the stuff for them. And we actually are doing a lot of that in-house. We have some people in-house that can do that work for us as opposed to bidding it, contracting it out. So it'll save us a little bit of money.
We did that before, Terry, you need to be very careful with warranty stuff, can get voided if you don't have a certified.
Most of these do all right through the warranty periods. After that, they start going south on us.
Right.
I think vehicles.
But if something gets miswired or something and the car runs up,
I think
be a big trouble.
capital item.
Yeah.
Okay.
If they would have been allocated during the budget season, like I think Chad asked for, it would have been in the capital, so.
Yeah. There were some unexpected, issues with them, so I'll definitely make sure it comes right out of the capital then. Thank you for that vote. And then on just new business, there's just not a whole lot again, other than to say that I'm excited to be working with Sandy again on a nice beautification project, so thank you for that, chance to collaborate. And I know Jim, you're gonna,
A lot more to go.
yes, yes. But they finished most of the function.
Yeah, and then
Public
Public
Works.
Frederick's Landing, out there. I haven't had time to run around and see the sign for the school, they will show the flower down in the gallery, and I want to do something for next year.
Okay. Well, again, looking forward to that, and Jim will stay involved with the roads and infrastructure. Kelly definitely, I want to thank her for taking the lead on the Great Pumpkin event. I know that's something that's well received with the community and the kids, and they look forward to that. Andy, I'll definitely make sure that you're included on this next meeting with Frederick's Landing.
Oh, okay.
And, as promised, and then Brad, I gave you the update earlier on the meeting that we had with a commercial developer, and I'll continue to keep you informed and include you in the upcoming meetings. So right now, we're just in a holding pattern with that. So that's really all I have. Just ready to turn it over to council, unless there's. All right, so Brad, you wanna start?
I would start first.
Oh,
That's
I go down to Jim.
Thanks, I don't have anything.
Okay. Well, that's very
Hold that.
careful. All of
I don't
that
have
to say
anything.
Sandy.
I don't have anything.
All right. Kelly.
I just wanted to thank, Chief Martin and the police for moving so quickly on the, cars, and Sandy for suggesting it for last meeting. That's all I have.
All right.
I don't have any.
Nothing. Wow. Jim?
I'm just gonna take my hat off to Chief Martin. Saturday, I was out on the double A and had this car, I mean, it was flying, swerving in and out, got in front of me, and, next thing I knew, there the chief came,
Yeah.
pulled him over, and,
Nice.
but, it's nice to know that they're out there. And I'm not gonna give any information away, but he did text me and said, I got her for you. As a joke, but, and I really do wanna just thank all of our employees. They are doing just an outstanding job. That's all I have.
All right.
I would think too, but it just goes without saying,
I know.
I don't even think I need to thank them ever.
Yeah.
I'm kidding.
All right. Well, thank you. At this point in the agenda, I typically open it up to anyone in the audience that might have something to say. Hello, and what's your name?
My name is Dr. John Stephenson, and my claim to fame is that I married the smartest move I ever made was a Campbell County girl by the name of June Guyman. If you know anything about the Guymans, when I first met her, I found out very quickly, every time you turn a rock over in Campbell County, you find another Guyman diamond. And she's the most smartest move I've ever made. She traveled with me through all 120 counties in Kentucky and Europe, filming the history of all 120 counties in Kentucky. And that was quite a task of 42,000 miles of driving and 3 years of work. and we donated a set of the tapes to every county library in the state, and they can all be seen on my YouTube channel, which I have now at 80 years old. And you all will be seen on the YouTube channel tonight also, because I wanted to take and tell every one of you, as former superintendent of education for the state of Kentucky, the last elected one in 1992, and the first person elected from northern Kentucky to any statewide office in over 70 years. That's quite an achievement, folks. That was in 1992, and as an advanced government teacher, I was very proud of you tonight, watching exactly how you handled your meeting with the mayor and the city manager and the attorney and your council people doing your responsibilities as great citizens, and it's an honor to film you tonight, and I will be honored to say the good and positive things about you on my YouTube channel and Facebook page. And we have over 5,000 videos I've done, and this is one more, including filming Daniel Cameron tonight and inside here, who I've known as a friend for a number of years. Even though I supported his opponent in his first race for Attorney General, I supported Brother Schroeder from our area here. But I'm glad to be for Daniel now. But that's what I wanted to say to you, and that's the reason I sit here and film the whole thing, because I wanted to film it because you are an example of how the Constitution works, you're an example of how city government works, and you're an example of how it works right. And I'm very proud of you. I can remember the mayor over here, Mayor Terrell, I think her name was, many years ago, and I was with Congressman John Breckenridge as his administrative assistant in Washington. And I can remember getting funds brought down for this area in Campbell County when Andy Jolly was alive and gave me the history of Campbell County, and a fellow by the name of Reese out in the southern part of the county. And your mayor was a very good mayor at that time. I don't know what you all thought about her, but we thought she was very good. And,
She was great. There's a road named after her out the south end.
Is that right?
Tells you something about her.
Well, praise the Lord, and you can see this tonight on my YouTube channel, if the good Lord keeps me alive long enough to do so. At 80, you know, I've got a, I tell everybody, your body just don't move the same way at 80 as it did when you were much younger. But if it all goes well tonight, by probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll have this on YouTube and on Facebook saying what I'm saying right now.
What's the YouTube?
The YouTube channel is Travels with Dr. John Stephenson, Stephenson. I'll leave you some cards here that each one of you can have a card. And the Facebook page is just under John Stephenson, Stephenson, former Commissioner of Motor Vehicles, gentlemen, the officers, and under Martha Lane Collins, if you remember that, back years ago. And my wife and I also traveled through 8 countries in Europe and filmed all of that, including 2 communist bloc countries before the Iron Curtain came down. So June Guyman Stephenson is the smartest move I ever made with the Lord's help. In fact, it was the Lord that told her to marry me. But it took me 4 years to convince her that the Lord was right. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Dr. Stephenson, for speaking. And you said you had 5,000, and now you have 5,001.
That's right. God bless you, and thank you all.
All right, well, thank you.
And thanks for Telecommunications Board here of Northern Kentucky. I think that's TPNK, right? The Telecommunications Board? Yes, right, and they do a great job on public access and government access. And believe it or not, I produced the very first show on public access in 1982 called How to Weatherize Your Home and for senior citizens. And I trained all the community action agency workers across the state of Kentucky in an old motorhome how to weatherize their homes and how to teach people to do that. And that initiated the first energy audits by the power companies all across the country. So I'm proud of some of the things I was involved with as a young man and a young soldier in the army of government. God bless you all.
Thank you for your service. Yes.
God bless you.
Thank you. Any other comments? All right. Well, with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn our meeting.
I'll make that motion.
We have a motion. Second, all in favor? All right. No